What's up, everybody? I'm the host of the self help podcast, Someday with Jay Barsky. This is a motivational album that contains snippets from our solo episodes. If you would like to listen to more content from us, make sure to subscribe to the podcast, Someday with Jay Barsky. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon. So, I want to talk about the ego. I think ego is something that holds us back from our uniqueness of being the person that we want to become in our lives. And your ego is what stopping you from all of that. Your ego is one of the factors that is stopping you from achieving your goals or achieving all of that. When you care what others are thinking of you, that's your ego. When there's anything that's preventing you from kind of doing what you want to do, but you feel like you're being peer pressured in doing things that other people are doing, or just because you see something's working for other people, that you're told that that's success and that that's what you should achieve, even though you really should achieve what's unique about you and what's different about you. And that ego is telling you that that's what you should have. But the ego really is like peer pressure on you. When you have experienced that peer pressure, that's your ego. It's telling you how you should feel. In actuality, you really need to explore what you like, what gravitates towards you, instead of gravitating towards what everyone likes or what everyone's saying that you should like, and that's in your face, whether it's on your phone or on TV or on ads. You really need to go out and find what you like. I look at this as the ego is a shield in front of you, and it's kind of preventing you from stepping out and exploring being the person that you are. And one thing that can shatter that ego is realizing that you're perfect. That you're perfect the way you are, and you don't need to be like anybody else. You don't need to have anybody else's same accomplishments. You just need to realize that you're perfect, you're unique, you have your own story, you have your own great story that it's not even finished yet. There's more chapters into that story that's going to help you grow into a better person and help others grow as well. By when you realize that you're perfect and that you love yourself, you will fill yourself with all that love that other people will gravitate towards it as well. Ultimately, that love comes from within. When you realize that you're perfect, that's when you realize that you love yourself, that you don't need to rely on the love of others to gratify who you are and who you. I want to talk a little bit about manifestation. So, just talking about manifesting your wants and desires. And every time I talk about manifestation, and I kind of want to talk about it in a more professional manner, because it is something that should be taken serious when you are wanting to achieve anything that you desire, like any passions and hobbies that you would like to make it a career or something to help you achieve your goals. And if you're actually doing things to get you engaged and active into reaching those goals, you are manifesting everything that you are desired. And if you're not doing anything about it, then you are not manifesting. Manifestation is real. I believe anything that can be vision and beyond is achievable as long as you are needing to develop a strategy plan. So you need to make a blueprint and how to achieve those goals. That's why you have those mini goals to help you prepare you step by step into those bigger goals. You should look at your life as if it's a biopic. So, as if it's a movie, you are watching that movie, you are watching that film, and you are watching yourself play a role that you know how to play because it is your unique role. No one else can play that role better than you because you were born in that role and you were born to stand out in the world, which is why you have that movie that is your biopic. But you also have different roles in that movie. You're the main character, you're the star of the movie, but you're also the director of that movie. You know where the beginning is because that's where you are. As the director, you'll know where it ends. As you develop that role, develop that movie, try to figure out that movie, you try to figure out those mini goals to help prepare you to get to that end goal. So that's what the body part of that movie is. That's what it's the entertainment. That's the journey of you trying to achieve that goal. It's just because anything that you are wanting to make your someday, it is considered a totem that you are trying to achieve. That's why it's helping you to think more positive on everything. But you have to know that there's parts in your movie that's going to have plot twists. There's going to be parts that's going to be unexpected because you are trying to achieve that end. And that's the mystery. Like, that's the actual entertainment part. That's the parts that you should enjoy. So you shouldn't really fear those unexpectations because you actually should be expecting it. You should be confident in yourself that when it does come, that you are going to be able to overcome it. Because again, you know your end goal, but it's that middle part that you really don't know. That's the mystery. That's the fun part because that's where the entertainment is. That's why people are going to come and watch your movie and want to see where it ends because they pretty much are going to assume that it's going to have a good ending at some point in the movie. It's just they really want to see that journey, that adventure. They want to see that work that was put into it to get to that end goal. You know where you want to be at the end, but it's just how you're going to get there is going to be the issue. That's what being confident is. Even if you don't have too much confidence, if you appear to be confident, it actually exudes to treat you as if you have that confidence. And it just helps boost your confidence to the point that either it will help you actually achieve the confidence that you need or actually boost the confidence that you already have. And sometimes you might have trouble to realize that maybe you can't accomplish things that you want to vision yourself doing or achieving or becoming the person that you want to become. And something that may help you realizing that you can do that is when you do something that you wouldn't believe that you would have done. And this could be something very small, like do a certain hobby, going to a certain place, even learning a certain skill that you never thought you would learn that you always were interested in, or just having a certain experience that you wanted to have, or go somewhere that you wanted to go. It's when you do something that's really that you wouldn't believe yourself ever doing that or accomplishing that is when you kind of opens the door to make you realize that you can accomplish other things in your life, that you can pretty much accomplish anything that you want to desire and achieve, even then some. One thing that's really helpful in you realizing that you can achieve anything you want to is by being resourceful. That's the key thing that I want you really to take away from this manifestation thoughts that I'm sharing with you is that you would need to be resourceful in anything that comes your way, that you still see that goal, you still see that end goal that someday that you want to achieve, but you're going to have those challenges, those unique challenges to get to you, that it's going to try to drive you away from achieving those goals. That's why you need to be resourceful, that you need to find other ways to get to your end goal. You need to be able to do a lot with only little that you have, even though if there's a business that you want to start, you have to really prepare yourself for those small steps to help build your confidence in order for you to really make that big leap into the end goal that you will finally achieve. Be resourceful. You're going to have those situations where you're going to come across that it's either going to stop you from trying to achieve your goals or challenge you to develop as a person and try to be resourceful in working a way. You should have no fear when it comes to achieving your someday. Fear is kind of a mindset to you. It is just a barrier in order to try to prevent you achieving your dreams because that's obviously going to happen. No matter what you do, no matter how many great things you accomplish, there's always going to be some kind of new challenge, especially as you grow and you develop. If you are going to be repetitive and do the same thing over again, you're going to come across the same challenges. But as you grow and try unique different things to help you grow and develop as a person, you're going to come across different issues to challenge you to help you grow. Fear comes into different forms. It comes to different shapes. It will always change. It's always going to come. It's normal to be fearful of different things when you are trying something new, something that you're not used to. It's okay to have that fear. What's not okay is to have that fear impact you in a negative way. What fear can do is lead to other negative avenues in your life. Fear leads to hate. It leads to anger, and eventually it leads you to a deeper dark side. You should be using that fear as a tool to motivate you, not to impact you in a negative way. Everyone has that fear. It's what you do with that fear is going to help you grow. You can't use that fear to put you down. You need to use that fear in a positive way to challenge yourself mentally to switch up that fear into something that works out in your favor. You shouldn't show that fear bothers you. Again, fear comes into different forms that will come to you. Sometimes you just need to ignore that fear. Sometimes you just need to ignore that vessel of fear that is trying to prevent you in achieving your goals. You should show fear that it doesn't bother you, that you have a strong armor around you, that anything fearful that comes your way is just reflected off the armor that you're wearing. That fear can cause you negative harms in your body. Every time one gets fearful of something mentally, it will cause certain reactions to the body, whether it's sweating or just something different reactions physically, maybe causing you to start biting your nails. Just little small things like that will start impacting your body in a negative way to kind of steer you into the direction that the fear wants you to go to. One thing I could recommend to help you overcoming those challenges, that those vessels of fear that come your way, is to be your own hype person. If you see that fear coming, hype yourself to it. Hype yourself to prepare for that challenge that will come your way, because you know that you can overcome those challenges. You should look at fear as just another small battle for you to help prepare you to grow to those bigger things as you grow as a person, as you become more successful in life. So you may come across those repetitive challenges as you grow, and you can overcome those challenges quicker to the point that they will stop happening. So fear is just that state of mind that kind of prepares us to what the outcome might be. What's important to know is that you knew that was going to happen, that you knew that fear was going to happen, that you knew that anxiety might happen as well. What you also should know is that you can overcome those things. That's what you have, that confidence in you. You can't prevent fear. Fear, I mentioned, fear is always going to come. And I go back to just being confident in yourself, in your craft, and whatever you do, anything that comes your way, yes, it's okay to be fearful of what different things that might challenges that might come your way. But that confidence in you is that suit of armor that is preventing that fear to bother you, and that you can overcome it and do whatever you want to do. We all fall along this journey as we try to grow, getting better. And this is just trying to get better as a person, getting better as a human being, just trying to do good for the world. And as we try to develop and grow, there's times when we're going to be challenged either by ourselves or by others. And there's going to be times where we fall. When you fall, it doesn't mean you failed at it. It just means you fell. It just means you came across a challenge that you weren't expected. This happens when you get too comfortable. That's okay to fall, because whether someone's going to help you or you're going to go on your own 2 feet, the point is you're going to get up. You're going to get up after you fall. Independently, you should be able to pick yourself up, motivate yourself, because that motivation comes from within. Ultimately, motivation comes within yourself, and then it exudes out of you in order to release that energy that you need to achieve your goals. It's easy to stay down. It's easy just to not get up. You may even lack the motivation to feel that energy. You may lack the motivation within. But what helps fill that void where there's lack of motivation is consistency. So there's going to be times, just because you've had those achievements, those accomplishments that were just recent and fresh, that makes you motivated, that gives you that build that energy, that builds that confidence, inflates that ego that you can do anything that you want, which is a great feeling to have. But you're going to come across those challenges that are going to make you fall at some point. And it's okay to fall, because you can pick yourself up, because you're consistent. When that motivation lacks, remember that when there's that gap of there's no motivation, that there's nothing that can be used as a tool to motivate you and drive you in wanting to achieve those goals, just remember to be consistent. That motivation is going to come like waves. Sometimes those waves are going to be small. Sometimes those waves are going to be massive, but they're going to come in waves. And the whole point is that you should just ride that wave until the next motivation wave comes. So I want to talk about setting goals, because your goals should act as a guidance to where you want to be in your life. We need to know that we are achieving something, which is that end goal. So we explore that journey because we can see the vision of our end goal at some point. And I say start as soon as possible. If you have that goal, do it right now. It's important to set short and long term goals. So they have an acronym for having SMART goals. And when I say the word SMART, it's an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time based. So make sure your goals are specific on what you can do, something achievable that you can do. Even if it's something that doesn't seem achievable, that's what the confidence helps you. That's what the preparation helps you. That's where you help prepare for that compliance that helps leads to that confidence in order to help you achieve those goals. So just have the specific goals, measurable. So how will you evaluate these goals? What indicators will help you to know that what you're doing is helping you achieve your goals? So you just have to have certain indicators. And this is kind of go back to just setting up smaller goals for yourself to help prepare for those bigger goals. Because once you're able to accomplish those smaller goals, it helps builds that compliance to that confidence to help you achieve those bigger goals. Realistic, which is something that's possible that you're able to do yourself. And these need to be time based. So give yourself deadlines, give yourself dates on when you want to get these goals done. These deadlines don't have to be hard deadlines. So if you don't get it done, you don't have to assume that you failed at it. You just maybe you have to push a deadline. But at least a date or a deadline makes it more achievable, that you kind of given your those small goals, that it helps prepare for you to have that end goal. But also recognize the work that you do, reward yourself for the work that you do, especially those smaller goals to help prepare for those bigger goals. Those bigger goals that you want to celebrate. But don't forget about those smaller goals. Those smaller goals is what helps drive you to get to those bigger goals. You need to reward yourself, recognize everything that you've done to help prepare for these goals, and just enjoy the journey, because that's what the most important thing about setting your goals is the journey. So don't fret if you at some point you don't get to the end goal that you achieve, because what you should appreciate more is the journey. The journey is so awesome. The journey is what allows you to meet new people, to realize new things about yourself, and help you realize your potential, and that you can do anything that you can set your mind to. But it'll start with setting those goals for yourself. Develop those smaller goals to get to those bigger goals. Make sure these goals are SMART. So just make sure they're specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time based. And just remember the importance of your time and what you're capable of doing with it. No matter who you're competing with, it's always going to be you in the end that you're actually should be competing with. How you feel against others is a reflection on you and the insecurities that you have towards the weaknesses that you may have that you have not realized. Competition is kind of a self-reflection on who you are. It's okay to emulate others, seeing what others are doing, that you want to do something similar. Everyone has their own past. People have maybe problems or issues that are similar, but they have their own unique way of that issue. So they have their own unique way of overcoming that issue or challenge based on their previous experiences. I'm a big believer that everyone should move up. It's not just an individual. That's how a community really needs to succeed. A community needs to succeed when everyone succeeds. That's how it works. That's how teamwork works. Teamwork makes the dream work. Dreams aren't fulfilled just by one single individual within the group. That's not how leaders are born. Leaders are to guide others to success with selflessness intentions. This is what true leadership is. True leaders aren't really supposed to be well known. The team is supposed to be well known. When the team's well known, that's how you know you have a good leader. There's no I in team. So when you know a true leader is selflessness, a true leader recognizes that their other partners are in need of support. The leader helps their other team members grow, even if that means excelling past the leader. That's what gurus strive for. They strive for their students to outdo themselves, so now the student becomes the teacher. Because in the end, it's always going to be you. It's you versus you. In the end, when you've done all you've done at the end of the day, when you've strived to exercise or try to work on your material or craft or anything that you are doing to help you more of a competitive person, when you go home at the end of the day, it's going to be you. This is why you focus on yourself and focus on what you have and focus on those strengths and focus on any weaknesses that you may have, so you don't come across any barriers or anyone or anything to make you feel any less of a person than you are. Nobody should make you feel fearful of who you are. because it's you versus you in the end. That's all you're going to look at. That's all you're going to strive for. That's all you're going to see. When you see that at the end of the path, you see there's someone down there. That's you. That's the ultimate version of you when you get to the end of the path. So just reflect on that. That's the person you are striving to become. And if you don't like what you see, just know that you can do better. You can always improve and do better. But if you're not happy with what you see, then do better, grow. But don't use fear or hate or anger in order to dislike who you are. You are who you are for a reason. There's a purpose for you being alive. That's what your journey is for, is to find that purpose, to find that individual that you are,